Please rise and join us in the singing of our national anthem, O Canada. Welcome, Serena Ryder.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command, car ton prince a porté l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des bleus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Delivering the game ball is Derek Bosch and President and CEO Patrick Nangle to Kim Murphy, head referee for today's game. Kim Murphy, now in his 20th season, has officiated 378 games. Today, he works his 8th Grey Cup and his first as the head referee. His crew for today's game is Richie Miller, Dave Foxcroft, Justin McInnes, Don Carmichael, Larry Butler, Steve Delinick, Glenn Johnson, Don Cousins, and Daryl Barron. Joining the team captains for the official coin toss are the Honorable Vaughn Solomon Schofield, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, and the Commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Mark Cohan.
Gentlemen, this is the coin we'll be using for today's ceremonial kickoff. The white insert is heads, the silver side of the coin is tails. Hamilton, you're the visitors here today. Heads is called. Your Honor, please flip the coin. Heads is called. It is a tail. Saskatchewan, you win the coin toss. You'll defer to the second half. Hamilton, you'll take the ball. Saskatchewan, you'll defend this end. Hamilton here, please. Hamilton will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
You've been the ultimate road team all season, having to play all your home games in Guelph. How has that prepared you for this, the biggest game of the season and arguably the most hostile environment?
We've just been consistent with our message. We're going to focus on the things that are under our control. Things like this are just a distraction. We're ready for the noise.
Thank you, Ken. Let's go over to Farhan Walji.
Corey, this game has been 1 year in the making. So much anticipation around a game here in Saskatchewan. How do you keep your players in the moment?
The biggest thing, what I told them is yesterday is gone. There is no tomorrow. It's all tonight. So we got to play for tonight.
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
From the TSN, proud to present Grey Cup 101, the Tiger Cats and the Roughriders on a Grey Cup stage like none other. Overwhelming home field advantage against the ultimate road warriors.
Henry Burris has been in this situation before when he led the Calgary Stampeders into the Grey Cup in 2008. It was hostile territory then, but nothing like he'll face here at Mosaic Stadium against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Darian Durant, of course, 2 chances at Grey Cup in 2009, 2010. He gets a 3rd opportunity. He is as focused as I've ever seen him.
Well, Corey Chamberlain, a former Ticat defensive coordinator, has improved his team by 3 wins in each of his first 2 years because he win 3 postseason games. Kent Austin, a banner here at Mosaic, the winning quarterback in '89, the winning head coach for the Roughriders in 2007. Can he spoil this party in 2013? Schmidt to kick it off. Here we go. And it will be C.J. Gable as it hangs up in the breeze. And Gable with the return to the 40-yard line. And now we hear what Henry Burris has to deal with tonight.
And it will be from start to finish. But as Ken Austin said to him before the game, it'll only affect you if you let it. We'll see.
Sideline pattern. Samuel Jaguar's got the catch, steps out, and it's a gain of 7 for the Sherbrooke Park product, Sammy Jaguar.
Henry Burris led the regular season in passing. The former Cup MVP in 2008, close to 5,000 yards on the season. The X factor in this game for the Ticats just could be C.J. Gable. 1,382 yards from scrimmage. Andy Fantus returns to where it all began. He had 896 yards on the season.
2nd and 3, they empty it out. And it's dropped over the middle, complete. Gable is not going to get to the first down. Diamond Ferry there, along with Craig Butler, to make it 3rd down. And the punt team will come on.
In 2nd down, you'll see more of Diamond Ferry, who is a converted defensive back playing in the linebacking core. And he's going to take C.J. Gable out of the backfield. And when he does on that crossing route, closes quickly, working his way through there to make the big tackle to stop Henry Burris in this first series.
Game time temperature, a bouncing snap back of 0, -6 with the wind chill. The wind was at the back of Josh Bartell. And the return by Sanders up to the 25-yard line, a 44-yard boot. And here comes number 4, Darian Durant, to lead the Roughriders out looking for Saskatchewan's 4th Grey Cup title.
He talked all week, Chris, about understanding better in this opportunity the legacy that is left behind by a championship quarterback. He's had 2 shots at it. This is his 3rd opportunity. Can he finish here tonight?
They start double tight ends, and they start with Corey Sheets. And not much there as he is swarmed just beyond the line of scrimmage. Torrey Davis at defensive tackle.
Darian Durant, 2 games in the playoffs, threw for over 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Had 31 TD passes on the year. Corey Sheets, 177 yards rushing in the Western Final. And Brendan Labatt on Thursday was named the best offensive lineman in the Canadian Football League.
Starters to watch brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard. 2nd and 9, pressure on, Durant down, ball loose, and the Ticats do not get it. Somehow Darian Durant recovers the football. So a big sack for the Ticats, but it could have been worse for the Roughriders.
Little stunt here for Hamilton out of the get-go. Alonzo Steinauer, the defensive coordinator, starting to mix things up right from the beginning of this football game with Jamal Johnson. A little bit of a twist with Torrey Davis to get pressure off the edge as well from Brandon Boudreau. He gets there first.
So the Roughriders fortunate to not turn it over. No turnovers by Saskatchewan in the 2 meetings this year against the Ticats. Ricky Schmidt with the boot, and it will bounce past Beggs, and now he scoops it up and is tackled at midfield. Levi Steinauer, one of the local products here, with the tackle as the defenses start well here in the 101st Grey Cup. They were the hottest team in the league at the right time, winning 6 of their last 7 games, and on a 4-game win streak, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have the football at midfield. Again, the wind at their back in the first quarter. In a win game, got to take advantage. Fake to Gable, and there is Andy Fantuz, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider, wrestled down by a Western Mustang, Craig Butler, just like Andy Fantuz.
Take a look at the Saskatchewan Roughriders defensive players to watch, starting with Tyron Brackenridge, who led the Canadian Football League in forced fumbles, a big hitter from the safety spot. Craig Butler led the team in tackles, undersized at linebacker, but he gets around the football. And John Chick co-led the team in sacks with Ricky Foley with 8 on the regular season. Remember, he has some demons to exercise from 09 as well.
2nd and 2, that's the fullback Delahunt in motion. Handoff Gable, and he'll have the initial first down of the game. CJ Gable, you saw the pre-game feature on the USC product, who was 4th in the Canadian Football League in rushing and led all running backs in receiving.
CJ Gable, the first true freshman at USC to start at tailback. He's got a great resume, and he can do it all. A triple threat.
Top rookie in the East, edged out by Brett Jones for top rookie in the league. 1st and 10. And there's another completion to Andy Fantuz. Diamond Ferry on the scene with the tackle.
Saskatchewan Roughriders defensively have not faced Andy Fantuz in the regular season for both the games against these two teams back in July. Fantuz was injured and not in the lineup, so Richie Hall has now got to try and handle one of the best receivers in the Canadian Football League in recent memory when it comes to time and space, especially against a zone defense.
Fantuz, the top Canadian in the 2007 Grey Cup for the Roughriders. 2nd and 4. First incompletion of the game, tossed by Burris, intended for the youngster Luke Tasker.
Dwight Anderson broke quickly on that from the secondary, one of the veterans that the organization brought in to be all in 2013. Led the team with 5 interceptions. He broke on that ball quickly.
So former Rough Rider, and there are many of those storylines here. Luka Kanji from 45 yards out with Weston Dressler waiting in the end zone if he's on target. And Luka splits the uprights. Ticats strike first. So the Ticats strike first. Now Darian Durant and the Roughriders will scrimmage at their 35-yard line. Durant 3-0 at Mosaic in postseason games. He'll fake to Sheets and gets up, unable to make the catch.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats on defense. 3 players we have our eyes on tonight. Jamal Johnson, who led the team in tackles and is the defensive captain. He'll go head-to-head with Corey Sheets tonight. Brandon Boudreau led the team in sacks with 7. And Delvin Breaux on the corner. He'll play the short side. Did not have an interception in the regular season, but he's a shutdown guy. Should be matched up against Tosh Smith.
Courtney Stephen, the fine rookie safety, injured in the Eastern Final, so it's Neil King there. 2nd and 10, Durant scrambles out and fumbles the football. Sheets got it. How about that? And he's still going. Corey Sheets in one of the most unusual Grey Cup plays. 42 yards as the ball was knocked out of the hands of Darian Durant.
You know there'd be some of those plays in this Grey Cup. There's the first one for you right in this first quarter. A big hit from the Hamilton Tiger Cats linebacking core on Darian Durant, who was fighting for yards here. And Corey Sheets, who tries to pick up a block. He got Jamal Johnson, is in the right spot at the right time.
There's Simone Lawrence on the hip of Durant, who has fumbled twice in the opening 2 series. But a big first down play. And a timeout called.
Timeout, Hamilton.
Frustration early on here for Kent Austin. I think communication is an issue. We saw Henry Burris at the end of their last series come off, and it looked like he was trying to explain to his head coach he couldn't hear the calls in his microphone and in the helmet. And it looks like this timeout was because they had the wrong lineup on the field, and Kent Austin has to burn it early.
Simone Lawrence heading to the sidelines. Looked like he was shaken up a bit on the contact with Durant. Brandon Isaac also heads off. 1st and 10 Roughriders, and I think there might have still been some confusion. Jamal Johnson jumps, and was it Ben Heenan coming out of his stance?
Both these teams going to have to settle down a little bit. You know you're going to be pumped up for a game of this magnitude. It's about staying focused, blocking out the distraction.
Offside, Hamilton, number 28. A 5-yard penalty remains first down.
And he did intentionally go offside. Lawrence comes back onto the field now, and Marcellus Bowman goes to the sideline, so they still didn't have the right personnel on the field, and the veteran Jamal Johnson takes the penalty. 1st and 5, Sheets. Corey Sheets with 270 yards in 2 starts against Hamilton, gets game tackled and pushed back, and Lawrence in the middle of that. Give him 3.
Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders this year are 10-0 when Corey Sheets gets 15 carries or more. Expect to get that they will get him the rock a ton as this game goes on. 1,598 yards in the regular season, 12 touchdowns. You take a look at the Western Final, 177 yards when he went head-to-head against John Cornish and the Calgary Stampeders.
Jock Sanders is checked in. 2nd and 2. Out of the pistol formation. Fake to Sanders, and Durant trying to get to the edge. Well, he was the story with his feet in the Western Semi against BC. 6 carries, 97 yards in that game here in Saskatchewan.
With all the talk about Corey Sheets, Saskatchewan going with a little play action. This time it'll be Jock Sanders in the backfield. Little play action here, and it catches King a little bit tight. He's got contained for the Ticats, but he's a little bit too tight, and then Durant with his speed and lower body strength outruns the angle of Neil King.
10 for Durant and a first down. And spilled on the play is Sanders, who's dropped down at the 15-yard line. Just 1 on the play for the changeup running back in that Rough Rider backfield.
Yeah, George Cortez, the offensive coordinator for Saskatchewan, kind of sprung Jock Sanders on the Calgary Stampeders. Had 8 carries for 61 yards and over a 7-yard average in that game.
That's the former Hamilton Ticat coach. Normally that'd be a headline story in this game, but George is a little further down the list of big-name storylines. 2nd and 9. Durant. G-Roy Simon. Touchdown. His first ever in a Grey Cup.
He runs a seam route, and he gets a step and a half in behind coverage. Durant lays it out there, and Superman runs underneath it.
A step on Evan McCullough, part of an Argo Grey Cup championship team last year. 4th Grey Cup for Superman G-Roy Simon, and his first Grey Cup touchdown. Elo the extra point. 6 plays, 75 yards, and a Durant touchdown pass to number 81.
Hamilton Tiger Cats go with what's called a cover 2-man. There's G-Roy Simon. Now 2 men are going to go deep to help out Neil King, the safety, Rico Murray from his linebacker spot. Rico Murray gets caught too shallow and can't help Evan McCullough deep. Hold it there, guys. You can see Rico Murray is caught shallow. G-Roy Simon in behind Evan McCullough. He didn't have deep help over the top, and Saskatchewan Roughriders score the first major of this Grey Cup.
First touchdown for the all-time leading receiver in the Canadian Football League since Labor Day. Brandon Banks on that deep kickoff and tackled at the 25-yard line.
G-Roy Simon is the most productive receiver for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the 2 games in the regular season against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. One of those games, Drew Willie was the starting quarterback, and in that one, Simon had over 100 yards receiving.
Said earlier in the week, I'm ready whenever they want to use me. He was a little disappointed in only 40 catches during the regular season. Four-man rush. Burris to the wide side. He's got Tasker. And Luke Tasker wrestled down by Tristan Jackson, the field corner for the Roughriders.
I've noticed early here, Chris, defensively for Saskatchewan, they're going a little bit smaller in the linebacking core. Throughout the back half of the season, Mike McCullough started at middle linebacker on first down. Right now, so far in this game, it's been Diamond Ferry, a little more undersized and converted defensive back. Don't be surprised to see, without McCullough in the game, Hamilton going a little bit more run with C.J. Gable.
13 for Tasker in just his 5th game as a Tomcat. And they find Jaguar for the 2nd time, close to a first down. And he gets bumped out on the wide side by Jackson once again.
Good timing on the throw here from Henry Burris. He's still got that big arm. Ken Austin loves to throw the football. He did as a player when he was back with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, back when he led this football team to the '89 Grey Cup Championship. He loves to throw it, but if he notices, and you will notice that the Riders are undersized at linebacker with Diamond Ferry in the game, he just may go to more run to Gable.
Burris 6 for 7 out of the gate. First down at the 48. They fake it inside. Pressure on. Picked off. And incomplete. Brackenridge with the hit, and it is ruled incomplete as Burris avoids the sack.
A late addition to the Saskatchewan Roughriders lineup was the former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Alex Hall. Had 16 sacks on the season, provides the pressure that causes the problems for Henry Burris on this play. Only one of those 16 sacks as a Rough Rider.
Second and 10. In 4-man rush, Jaguar is open, and Jaguar drops the football. Took a hit at the end of the play from Diamond Ferry, but Samuel Jaguar drops a first down.
Craig Butler causes some problems. He gets around the football and has all season long. He's going to drop out of there to the right of your screen. Craig Butler shows up late here, and watch how he maybe just distracts Shiger just a little bit. He fights it, comes back inside, and then takes a hit from Diamond Ferry.
So Josh Bartell punts the football away. Sanders from the 16. Try to reverse field, and he'll get tackled right there. One completion, one touchdown pass for Darian Durant. With more on what's motivating him in this game, here's Farian Lalchi on the sidelines.
Thanks, Chris. We'll start with Darian's 85-year-old grandmother, Ethel, who's back in South Carolina. Now, back in September, she was in a hospice, and the family brought her home essentially to die in peace. Well, she is far from that. She is up, moving around, and active. She's very happy right now that Darian's in this situation and told him to win this one for her. Family means so much to Darian, but he asked his parents to stay home. They were at the last 2 Grey Cups. It didn't go really well, but before the game, as he always does, he did talk to his father for that final bit of advice and inspiration needed for the game of his life. Chris?
Of course, his brother Justin, a member of the Dallas Cowboys, and as Darian Durant framed it yesterday, he plays for America's team. I play for Canada's team. And off the sheets, looking for something up the middle, and the Ticat defense has clocked it up early on Corey Sheets.
Well, I mentioned it off the top, Chris, that Darian Durant is playing as clean a football through the playoffs as I've seen any quarterback in recent memory. When you consider completing 81% of his passes, over 500 yards, has not thrown an interception throughout the playoff run, those 2 games, one against BC and the final against Calgary.
This is a team that has been a slow starter this year. 2nd and 7, take off again, and a slot for a first down. Did that in the Western Final against Calgary and was shaken up. Thought for a moment in that Western Final he'd suffered a serious knee injury.
Well, it said it has been bothering him. He's been beat up throughout the regular season. Had 97 yards rushing in that semifinal against the BC Lions. Broke down that defense, especially in the 4th quarter.
Former Regina junior Dan Clark checks in as a tight end. Back in the hands of Sheets. And up to the 36-yard line, testing defensive tackle Brian Bulkey, the pride of Windsor, Ontario.
Saskatchewan scores the first major. They got a little bit fortunate here when Lawrence, with the big hit on Durant, causes the fumble. And Corey Sheets just happens to be in the right place at the right time. Gets a big gain out of it, and that turns into the G. Roy Simon touchdown.
Another 2nd and 7 for the Roughriders. Rico Murray blitzing on the play. Now a flag flies. Dressler wide open. Tiptoes down the sidelines, and another flag comes down as Dressler is tackled by Arthur Hobbs with a couple of penalties to be sorted out. Coming back.
First flag looked like it was in that holding area.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 87. That penalty is declining. Holding, Saskatchewan. 10-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
That would be 57. Brendan Labatt is going to try and pick up this stunt here from Brandon Boudreau, who's going to come inside, and watch how Labatt will get his hands around the shoulder pad area of Boudreau and pull him down to the ground. Number 57 with the takedown there. There's the holding call that'll bring this play back.
Negates a 41-yard pickup for Weston Dressler. So it's 2nd and 17. It's to Dressler, gets a block, and is dragged down by Rico Murray, who has played in a number of positions for the Ticats on defense this year for Orlando Steinauer.
Well, he started the season playing the short side corner. Good man cover guy, moves to the linebacking core, and we've seen him drop back into the safety spot with the change for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the secondary. Neil King having to start in this Grey Cup. Remember, Neil King was drafted this year.
Ricky Schmidt, the left footer. Brandon Banks gets the handle, and he'll get dragged down in front of the Saskatchewan bench by Brian Peters as we check in at the Hamilton bench with Sarah Orleski.
Thanks, Chris. There's no player that Riders fans have more of a love-hate relationship with over the years than Henry Burris. I counted at 334 was when the Henry trance first started today. He told me that they first started back in 2000. They have only gotten worse over the years, especially since he left the team after 2004. Kent Austin said as long as Henry is able to block it up, concentrate on what he's supposed to, this is not going to be an issue. It's only an issue if Henry allows it to be. Henry told me just before the game, all he hears when he's out there is white noise. He doesn't hear the Henry chants.
Here's Burris over the middle, and Andy Fantus unable to bring it down. There's Weldon Brown defensively, and Burris looking for a flag that was not thrown.
Maybe the unsung hero of this defense throughout the 2013 season, Weldon Brown, the former Edmonton Eskimo. Excellent timing on the jump with Andy Fantus. Just got a piece of that.
Second and 10. Pressure. Burris over the middle, nobody there. Dwight Anderson was tracking Andy Fantus, and the punt team will have to come on for the Ticats.
It was the pressure. Not necessarily crowd, but the pressure here that disrupts this play for Henry Burris. He just can't throw with accuracies. He tries to step up in the pocket here. He's kind of hopping around, can't settle his feet. Then he steps up in there, and you can see the ball thrown in behind Fantus.
Second 2 and out for Hamilton. Sanders from his 25 with a burst. And he's all the way up to the 49-yard line. Good return for Jock Sanders in the final minute of this opening quarter.
During the regular season, Jock Sanders was a healthy scratch as the Roughriders started to look for maybe a different answer in the return game. Came back in the back half of the season, a little bit smarter with his ball security, and then really contributed in the West Final against Calgary. That was a nice run.
Best field position start for the Roughriders. Mentioned a slow starting team this year, Suits. Just 67 points in the opening quarter all year. But have scored a touchdown here against the Wind in the opening quarter. Sheets again. First down production here. And close to a first down at the Ticat 51-yard line. Last week it was 8 to 9 yards on first down. George Cortez said, easy to make play calls when you're getting that kind of production.
It's the Sheets shuffle, and this is his great attribute, his ability to have great vision down the field for Corey Sheets, be able to be patient when he runs the football, shuffle laterally while still moving forward and down the field. He does it nicely there.
So just a couple of chain links from a first down, a free play for the Roughriders on what should be the final play of this opening quarter.
And no one should be surprised with Corey Sheets seeing the football a ton in this game early here in the first quarter. In 2 games in the regular season, he had 49 carries against Hamilton.
Well, you mentioned that telling stat, 10-0 when George Cortez has called his number at least 15 times in a game, 1-7 when he does not carry the football as much as 15 in a game. And of course, the much publicized blow up on the sidelines in the Calgary game. Seems like a long time ago now. Second and short. And hit behind the line of scrimmage. His momentum takes him for a first down. So we're through 15 minutes here at Mosaic. Back at Mosaic, the numbers after 15 minutes of football.
You take a look at the difference with the teams rushing the football. Saskatchewan Roughriders over 80 yards, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats have really not run the ball successfully at all, and they haven't. It doesn't look like, Chris, notice that the Riders are going with Diamond Ferry at middle linebacker just yet.
A lot of the contribution for G. Roy Simon this year have been the intangibles, the leadership behind the scenes, but a big play here to get him going and the team going.
Well, the expectation was off the charts when G. Roy Simon signed here because he's the leading receiver in CFL history, but he was brought in for two reasons: to make the big play in the big games and for that leadership you mentioned. He's made a big one already tonight.
Here's Durant swinging it out. Good catch by Sanders, but he can't break the tackle. Rico Murray comes up with another big play. It was a tough start to the day for Rico Murray, who lost his footing in the player introductions, but he looks sharp on the field right now.
Well, one of the many rookies playing in the lineup for the Tiger Cats. They're a very young squad, nowhere near the experience, especially in the big game. And you could tell Rico Murray was feeling the nerves. He also got caught shallow on the G. Roy Simon touchdown, but real good tackle in the open field there on Jock Sanders.
Passing situation, loss of 3, 2nd and 13. And over the middle, wide open, Chris Getzlaff, first down, and dropped at the 15-yard line. Drafted by the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a hometown hero. And Chris Getzlaff looks for his first Grey Cup ring. As a player, he was on the 07 practice roster.
Protection there for Darian Durant. Gives him time to allow Chris Getzlaff to run that crossing route. You could see a nice pocket created by Corey Sheets in the offensive line. Sheets picking up Evan McCullough on the blitz. To the right of your screen, that allows Getzlaff across the middle, and Darian Durant has a throwing lane.
38 for Getzlaff, the top Canadian receiver in the CFL this year, number 5 overall. Pass into the backfield. There's another Regina native, Neil Hughes, quickly tackled by Arthur Hobbs.
Chris Getzlaff, a divisional all-star, and you take a look at the Canadians in the CFL that led the CFL this year in the regular season. Chris Getzlaff, the top of the list, 1,045 yards, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders leading receiver in 2013.
Playing with a brace on his right knee. Brother Ryan couldn't make it. He's watching. South of the border. 2nd and 8. Pressure on. Durant on a roll. Anybody home? Looking for Rob Beck in the corner, incomplete. Emmanuel Davis on the scene for the Ticats.
Again, another rookie, but he plays it perfectly because he doesn't let up. Darian Durant buys time here, gets outside, basically changes the launch point, and allows Rob Bagg to continue to work his route down the field. Now Rob Bagg's trying to shake Emmanuel Davis here, can't get rid of him. Davis closes and gets that hand in there. He had an interception, his first in the CFL in the Eastern semifinal against Montreal.
So Chris Milo from the Laval Rouge et Or. Another national championship for Laval, and a field goal for Milo. And it's a 7-point lead for Saskatchewan in Grey Cup 101. Difference in the game, G. Roy Simon's touchdown with Ward on that score in the GMC Coach's Playbook. Here's Paul Appolise.
Yeah, let's talk about that touchdown by a veteran receiver. I thought Suits was bang on that the safety needed to help him, but G-Roy, as a veteran receiver, did what it takes to be able to get in a position to get open. He used what I call a stick move. There you go. You see G-Roy working against Evan McCullough. As he's going to work up, watch him. He breaks outside. Now right here, he makes a little outside move. Okay, McCullough feels that and breaks outside because he's in man coverage. Then G-Roy snaps it, straightens it out. Easy touchdown for him. Great move by a veteran receiver, guys.
The all-time leader, G. Roy Simon. And he says this will not be his last game. intends to play again next year. Ticats take over at their own 35 after the Milo field goal. And a problem with the snap. And Burris has to eat it.
Looks like Henry Burris is starting to have some issues. Takes his eyes off the football here. The snap absolutely perfect.
And it results in a loss of 7. Not only pump up the volume, dumps it off, and here's Gable. Cuts back, but slowed up, and C.J. Gable denied as he runs right into Jermaine McIlvaine, who was on the Alouette team that beat the Roughriders in 2 Grey Cups.
Yeah, and had a good playoff run as well when Terrius George, the divisional all-star, had to leave. And Tommy Cundell, offensive coordinator, and Kent Austin both are trying to limit the damage there after the fumble on first down. Runs the screen play, realizing probably not going to get the first, and kick it away.
Wind now at 30 kilometers an hour. There'll be a no yards penalty here as Sanders is wrestled down by Marcellus Bowman. 3rd 2 and out for the Ticats in this opening half. And the Roughriders will get great field position with the wind at their back after this penalty.
No yards. Hamilton, number 20. 15-yard penalty. First down.
The 2013 Tim Hortons Roar of the Rings begins next Sunday from Winnipeg. Live coverage gets underway 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific here on TSN. Special guest commentator Ron Burgundy in the house.
Absolutely love it. Stay classy, Winnipeg.
Got a little worried he was going to be replacing me for this game. Roughriders with the lead, the football at the Ticat 50-yard line. And Kim Murphy's crew going to sort something out here.
Looks like they had an issue with the spot of the football. Apparently from the sideline, where we understand that one of the officials has a broken whistle. Had to get that fixed. There's a first.
Pressure on, Durant just gets it away. And it falls incomplete between Getzlaff and Smith. And Durant took a shot as the safety, Neil King, on the blitz.
Well, it's a star-studded event. The Grey Cup 2013 here in Saskatchewan. In fact, before the game, how about Tom Hanks and Martin Short? They're cheering for Hamilton.
Martin Short, great Hamiltonian.
So there's 2 people in this province cheering for Hamilton.
Durant with some time, got Getzlaff on the flat. And he'll be tackled at the first down stick.
Well, that's a great throw from Darian Durant. Almost sidearms it to the wide side of the field and hits Getzlaff. Felt the pressure from Neil King on the previous play. This time, watch him just sling it out there. Put it right on Chris Getzlaff, right on the rail.
5 catches for Getzlaff in 2 previous Grey Cup games. That's his 2nd tonight. 1st and 10. Has some time. And it should be another Roughrider first down. Emmanuel Davis again the tackle for Hamilton as Dressler has his 2nd catch of the game.
Todd Smith, the short side receiver, is going to come from the right of your screen and come right here. He recognizes Neil King, the safety, on the blitz, and he comes in and picks him up with a little help from Corey Sheets. Darian Durant rolls away from it and is able to throw for completion. We haven't heard Todd Smith as far as catching the football yet tonight, but he makes a block there.
8th first down of the game for the Roughriders. 1st and 10, taking a shot. Todd Smith, but it's knocked down. Good defensive play by Delvin Breaux, back on the corner. The outstanding rookie for the Tiger Cats.
Had a great conversation with Orlando Steinauer, the defensive coordinator for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, about Delvin Breaux. Is one of the reasons I wanted to highlight him as a starter to watch. He told me that Delvin Breaux on the outside will take receivers at least a couple of times a game right to the Gatorade bucket on the sideline. That's how aggressive and physical he will be. He'll run you right out of bounds, that time in perfect position.
The defensive back who suffered a broken neck in high school, unbelievably playing pro football. Pass is complete. And speaking of injuries and adversity, there's Rob Bagg with the catch.
This is wide receiver. This is textbook. Rob Bagg is going to go down the field, but watch what he does at the top of the route, coming back to the football to create separation. Nice little step move there, runs the curl. Now he works back about 5 yards to create separation between he and Emmanuel Davis.
ACL injuries to both knees, a broken collarbone in the 09 Grey Cup, and now it shoots up around to the edge. By Corey Sheets at a 15-yard rump.
How about that stiff arm? Big blocks from Chris Best and Ben Heenan, the right side of that offensive line. That gives Corey Sheets some space initially, and then he's going to find himself one-on-one with that very same corner I just talked about and how aggressive he is, and watch the stiff arm on number 27.
Third trip to the green zone for the Roughriders, a touchdown, a field goal, and 1st and 3. Sanders.
Jock Sanders moves back to the tailback spot. A nice cut off again the right side of the Saskatchewan offensive line. Chris Best, big block. Ben Heenan in his 2nd year with a nice kick out.
Needle the extra point. A 2-touchdown lead for the Roughriders. 7 plays, 50 yards. And a 3-yard touchdown run by Jock Sanders.
George Cortez, a little different formation on that touchdown for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Corey Sheets starts out as a receiver on the play, comes from one side of the formation all the way to the other. Jock Sanders ends up being in the backfield, changes things up, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats are chasing the play. He also got some big blocks up front.
Sam, baby, you know what time it is. Shout out to the Sanders.
Ticats fell behind by 2 touchdowns last week in the Eastern Final in Toronto. A big possession upcoming for them. Brandon Banks up over the 30-yard line, and there's Brian Peters with another special teams tackle.
Show you the blocking up front on that touchdown by Jock Sanders. Ben Heenan out of the University of Saskatchewan with a kick out on Eric Norwood, and then Best comes down, gets on the linebacking core, and Jock Sanders has a nice hole to run through. 65 on the kick out, sealed here. Look at the lane, and Sanders basically untouched into the end zone.
From the 34, Looks one way, goes the other. And Bakari Grant can't make the catch. Leading receiver for the Ticats this year. And so Burris, 7 completions, 13 attempts so far in this first half. Only 51 yards.
And take, Chris, a look at the just sort of the eyes of Henry Burris. Look like they're glassing over a little bit on him. He's just 7 of 13, 51 yards. In the back half of the season, the Ticats have gone to Dan Lefevre in a basic wildcat formation and had him run the ball, settle things down. Wonder if we'll see that from Ken Austin.
Oh, he wasn't ready for that snap. It's loose. McElveen's got it. Check that. Alex Hall with the recovery down at the 5. And you can chalk this one up to the crowd.
No question. Didn't look like Burris even started his snap count. Marwan Hayes snaps it back to him, and he is nowhere near ready for it. Burris is trying to take a look at the formation, make sure he's got it right. It goes right by him, and he's not even sure the play's been whistled in yet.
Well, this is what this bedlam can create. Let's see if the Roughriders can cash in. Fly sweep. It's Weston Dressler and Norwood there to bring him down at the 5.
Right. Ken Austin is going to have to try and calm Henry Burris down and try and regroup on that sideline, see if they can limit the damage and get something out of their defense, maybe a stop here and hold Saskatchewan to a field goal. It is really starting to unravel quickly. And as I mentioned, Henry Burris is just not seeing it. Orlando Steinauer needs a big stop from his defense right now.
Heavy 6, 2 and 4.
Second and goal. Dressler and Taj Smith exchange spots. Durant under pressure, flag down, and down goes Durant. Ball came loose at the end of the play. There is a flag in the end zone.
See what that flag is. Eric Norwood, just tremendous hustle from the backside. Makes the tackle and really creates the fumble. Not sure if Durant was down by contact or not when it came out. And as you mentioned, there is a flag on the play.
Norwood, a rookie defensive end that Ken Austin spotted when he was coaching at Ole Miss, and Norwood, a rival in South Carolina, was so good. Austin filed it away, and Norwood is...
There's no infraction on the play. The player is ruled down by contact. Will be third down.
But Ken Austin gets the stop from his defense. Eric Norwood, he's going to challenge, it looks like, whether or not Darian Durant was down by contact. Norwood is going to come around the edge and watch the hustle from the backside on this second down play. He creates the turnover if, in fact, Darian Durant is not down by contact. Let's take a look here. Looks like that.
Looks like it was coming out.
It was the ball coming out. It was... And whether or not the Hamilton Tiger Cats immediately recovered the football is another question that the command center will have to take a look at. And all of a sudden there is a serious hush over this crowd.
It's the ball coming out as the knee touches, almost simultaneous.
Very difficult to tell. We're going to have
super slow motion, might help. Ruling on the field was Rough Rider football, and that Durant was down.
Let's take one more look at that super slow motion look, because that should give us the best look. As the ball coming out, his knee comes down, it is almost simultaneous. If you just go back.
Hamilton is challenging the ruling on the field of a player down by contact. We'll review the play.
Knee is down now.
And the ball's out.
And the ball was out.
Almost simultaneously.
This is close.
So Jake Ireland, Al McCollman will sort it out.
Now the call on the field is that Durant was down by contact. So they'll have to see enough evidence to overturn that for Kent Austin to win this challenge.
Had a couple of these plays this year where they've also ruled the ball was not recovered immediately. It looked like Ticats were jumping on the football in short order. There's Boudreau to hop on the ball.
Yeah, Brandon Boudreau immediately. So
the issue should be was the knee down prior to the ball coming loose.
Well, this is as close as I've seen for a challenge.
Told that Glenn Johnson is also part of the command center deliberation, or he's on the headset. Our referee last year in Toronto, Grey Cup 100. And points are at stake here. It'll be third down, a field goal in all likelihood upcoming for Corey Chamberlain's crew if they've maintained possession.
Let's take a look at an enhanced version of that slow motion look.
I think the ball is out just prior to the knee touch.
I think you're right.
But do they consider that conclusive? And I don't think it would be if we didn't have super slow motion.
That ball is out before his knee touches the turf. Knee not touched there, ball out of his hands.
And what a huge break this could be if it goes the Ticats' way. But again, is that conclusive?
After review, the ball was out prior to the player down by contact. It'll be Hamilton ball on the 8-yard line, first down.
Well, it's a young defense in Hamilton that came together in the back half of the season. Orlando Steinauer gets a big stop. After the offensive turnover, defense gets in there and turns the ball over themselves. No points for the Riders.
Potential turning point, and the Ticats needed one.
How about that challenge for Kent Austin? Without those enhanced looks. Got the call from upstairs, and it was the right decision.
So that's the good news, Hamilton. The bad news, you're starting at your 7. And Burris pumps. Will he take off? Dumps it off, and there's Bakari Grant. Diamond Ferry meets him and brings him down at the 14-yard line.
It's like Diamond Ferry may be a little slow to get up here. He's grabbing his right leg.
In his 4th Grey Cup, 2-1 in the big game as a member of the Alouettes, and this would open the door for a return of Mike McCullough back into the game. The 11-year veteran.
With Grey Cup experience in 07, and of course the 2 years in 2009 and 10. Diamond Ferry close quickly.
And Bakari Grant was arguing, and I think that replay shows he had a case for a head tackle. And Tristan Jackson takes out the legs of Diamond Ferry. Cups in 09 and 2010 against the Roughriders, and now trying to help them win a Grey Cup.
I know it's just the first half, Chris, but a very important 2nd and 4 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats right here. Deep in their own end. After the stop from their defense, they can put together a couple of first downs and maybe weather the first half storm here a little bit.
Of course, there's been some shuttling of middle linebackers since the injury to Ray Williams. out the second half of the season after an ACL injury in the Banjo Bowl. He actually was back on the field practicing this week and on the 46-man roster for the Roughriders. Burris, 3 of his last 8. Looking to get... And looking for Fantuz. Incomplete with Tristan Jackson in coverage.
A little bit of contact there, but I think it's good no call by the officials here to let them play. It was Andy Fantuz trying to run that timing out. Burris holds the football, and it looks to me, Chris, that he is holding the ball a little bit longer. He doesn't seem to have the timing. Fantuz comes down, works outside on Tristan Jackson, gets a little leverage. Now there is a little bit of contact. They're going to let him play.
4th consecutive 2 and out for the Ticats. Well, this one bouncing on the turf at the 48. Sanders looking for a crease. And finally wrestled out by Marcellus Bowman. So an 18-yard return. Darian Durant came up empty after the fumble, but gets it back in great field position, trying to enhance this 14-point lead.
Well, you can tell the seriousness of which he's coming on to this series because he had a golden opportunity to put more points on the board in this first half. He's got the wind at his back right now, although it's dying a little bit. And really all the momentum, but for that 2 and out after the turnover by Burris.
3rd start on the Ticats side of midfield. First down at the 30. A lot of steamboats. Taking a shot. Out at the 1.
He's got his top end speed back.
Little upset. He couldn't angle his way to the cone, but they'll be set up 1st and goal at the 1.
That knee injury in late October really hampered his top end speed. In the final against Calgary, Chris Getzlaf made a nice move showing you on a touchdown catch in that game that the knee was okay, but he was missing a little top end speed. Well, he gets separation there on Arthur Hobbs.
First touchdown in 7 in the Western Final. Corey Sheets. An emphatic first half for the Roughriders on home turf.
Corey Sheets is the lead block, is lowering his shoulder, hitting that hole, pad level down, was not going to be denied that close to the goal line.
Extra point from Milo. And it's a 3-touchdown lead for the Roughriders here in the opening half. Touchdowns in the regular season for Sheets.
Big catch on the corner route, sets up the Corey Sheets touchdown. Let's show you one more time. Here's Getzlaf. Watch the nice move as he hits on the fly. A nice swim move here on Arthur Hobbs. Hands over, gets a little bit of celebration on the push, and he knows that safety Neil King can't get there. He's running away from the inside safety. No way that King can get to that part of the field. Arthur Hobbs is beat. That sets up the Corey Sheets touchdown.
You said breathe?
Well, it's been bedlam here all week, and it continues, and even more so in the opening 30 minutes of football here at Mosaic. Well, if the last series was important, this one even more so. Brandon Banks is brought down by Tyron Brackenridge. Special team tackle by the Western All-Star safety.
Well, if the last series was big for Ken Austin and Henry Burris, this one is that much bigger. We haven't seen Dan Lefevre at all.
And thought we might in this circumstance.
But now down by 3 scores, you got to leave your passer out there because you got a long road to come back. It's a steep incline for Hamilton now.
Oh, he's going to go deep. And Grant comes down with the football. Out wrestling Tristan Jackson for the biggest play for Hamilton in this opening half. And a flag at the end of it on Grant. 48-yard play. And he's not sure why. I hope it's not because the helmet came off.
Well, he just wins the football against Tristan Jackson one-on-one. Nothing fancy by the pass route from Bakari Grant. 78 yards receiving in the Eastern Final for Grant. He's the wide receiver. Just going to run straight down the field on Tristan Jackson, but it's what happens when the ball arrives. Grant wins it. He was a little surprised he got a penalty at the end of this.
First down of the second quarter.
Objectional conduct. Taunting. Hamilton. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, is it taunting or excessive celebration? It's like he's trying to fire up his team.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
48-yard play becomes a 38-yard pickup and a first down at the Roughrider 40. And Burris going to go deep again. Wanted Fantuz, and he got turned around a bit. Incomplete.
Fantuz had leverage, and Burris just threw it to the wrong shoulder. He threw it inside as if it looked like he thought Fantuz was going to run a seam. Fantuz is actually going to run this corner route. He's going on Weldon Brown. He's got outside leverage the way he wants it. Now look at him break out. He's got separation. That ball's thrown outside to the sideline. 83 can get there. Tommy Condell is starting to push the ball deep. The offensive coordinator for Hamilton trying to open things up with some deep throws.
Second and 10. And he's got Ellingson. Greg Ellingson, the catch and a first down, and suddenly the Ticats in business offensively.
Terrell Mays is in coverage here on Ellingson, and because he's a step and a half behind the rookie sensation, he just does not want to allow himself to look back to the ball. If he does, he could cut underneath it and probably make the play, but because he's beaten on the out route, he wants to catch up to his man first.
As deep as the Ticats have been in Rough Rider territory. First down. Gable inside. And not much there. Stacked up, pushed back. And Mike McCullough in the middle of it.
Mike McCullough did not play until the injury to Diamond Ferry.
And Peter Diakowski, the left guard, is down. The 7-year vet who has played every game for the Ticats at that position, and he is in some difficulty. A CFL PA All-Canadian.
Not much to speak of when it comes to running the football from C.J. Gable as they examine Peter Diakowski down on the field. Like he was working against Keith Sholigan. Diakowski in at that left guard spot, trying to cut off Keith Sholigan, the point of attack, and John Chick coming from the outside. He had an issue with that right knee. Wearing a knee brace on it, that's immediately where he grabbed.
Out of Vancouver College, went to Louisiana State. and the smartest guy in the country. And I know he's smart because he brought his own seat cushion for the bench here. And that came in handy when it was minus 37 here during the week.
They're taking their time to make sure that.
And that's a bad sign.
It is a bad sign.
One of those guys who is such a great advertisement for the league. Terrific guy to talk to. Engaging. Tristan Jackson over to wish him well as they help Diakowski up.
Good to see him get up, though, although Marwin Hayes, who's the other veteran of 10 years, all with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, first guy over there to try and help get him off the field. And just 2 carries for C.J. Gable.
One of the leaders.
Greg Woyd had some issues with concussions, did dress for this game and was on the sideline. Looks like they're going to have to bring Woyd in.
Woyd told us earlier in the week he was ready to go, but Kent Austin elected to keep him in reserve. But now Woyd will have to come on.
And divisional all-star this year.
Been so much flux on that offensive line, and really the only constant had been Peter Diakowski. Brian Simmons and Joel Figueroa, the tackles, had not started 5 of the last 7 games. And a crushing end to Diakowski's Grey Cup 101. So 2nd and 11. Ticat threatening. Extra motion, pressure on. Burris was hit as he threw and got taken down as the pass was off target, incomplete.
John Chick. Yep, John Chick's coming off the edge here, Chris, and John Delahunt is the guy who's got to step up and try and block him. Got a little too tight to the line of scrimmage.
And they give the benches the 3-minute warning. A dominant first half for Saskatchewan. A field goal upcoming for Hamilton. How about the Sheepdogs prior to the game?
Outstanding.
They set the tone. Luka Kanji, 24 yards out. And the former Rough Rider has his 2nd field goal. Ticats now trail by 18.
One of the major storylines heading into this Grey Cup championship was, of course, the return of Kent Austin, who in the 3 championships was a huge part of 2 of them for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in their history. When you think back to 1989, was our starting quarterback that year. I say our because, of course, a teammate of mine that season. And, of course, in 2007, the head coach of Saskatchewan Roughriders. Now, if he wants his football team, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, this year to come back in this one, he's got to keep his offense on the field. Hamilton has just 5 first downs to Saskatchewan's 13.
Under 3 to go. Back in the hands of Sheets. 2nd level. And all the way across the 50 for Corey Sheets. 18 more. He had that 42-yard run off the Durant fumble, and he has been off and running ever since.
Well, before that run, the Saskatchewan Roughriders had 105 yards rushing. This will add to that total. Hamilton just 2. So winning that battle in the first half in a big, big way. Corey Sheets, nice move inside.
Saskatoon native Scott McHenry has checked into the Rough Rider offense. Back inside, Sheets again with a burst and another first down. Finally brought down by the safety Neil King. And a big block by McHenry to help spring Corey Sheets.
McHenry helps out, the offensive lines helps out. Watch Ben Heenan again with Chris Best the inside of the right side of that line, really has been dominant in this first half. Good kick-out block there by Scott McHenry. And the right side line did the rest.
Sheets over 100 and a run. And he's got a touchdown. Superman scores. So this is what he was waiting for.
Wait for the biggest stage and the biggest game of the 2013 season. Brought in for his leadership, brought in to chip in throughout the regular season and to make the big play in the biggest games. His second touchdown.
Missed practice on Friday. Was under the weather. Nothing wrong with him tonight.
Our coach Paul LaPolice on his first touchdown diagram. Real nice route running. Let's take a look as he works again on Evan McCullough, who tries to take the outside shoulder swim move to get around McCullough. Now he's in a flat out chase to get back to that corner route. Sometimes the receivers not only use their hands to get to catch the football, but they use them to get open as well. And watch how he uses his hands on that swim move to run the corner on Evan McCullough. Good hands, swim move out and around him, and McCullough trying to catch up, can't do it.
Well, tongue-in-cheek this week, he said, I've let him know I'm around, I'm ready, whatever you want to throw me the football.
Hey, G, what up, my dog? Let's go. Hot dog. Stand again. Hot dog. Stand again.
Well, don't mention his contributions on his receiving line this year. One of the leaders. Banks again, you get the feeling they need a big special team play, but it's not here. And Brian Peters is in on every special team tackle.
The expectations were through the roof for Saskatchewan fans because of the numbers that Geroy Simon has tallied in his career. The leading receiver in yards ahead of Darren Flutie, Alan Pitts, our panel member Milt Stiegel, and at number one on that great list is Geroy Simon, over 16,000 receiving yards. The numbers were moderate this year, but the leadership you can't measure. Darian Durant talked all week about watching Geroy Simon in the locker room, how he prepared for this game.
See if they keep pushing downfield. The ball is flat, and a dangerous pass. Terrell Mays was eyeing it, intended for the fullback, John Delahunt. Well, they've stepped into a hornet's nest here.
And they have. Ken Austin throughout this season and throughout his career as a coach has been one of the best at finding ways to have the offense evolve as the game goes on, to finding the adjustments. He needs them in a big way.
2nd and 10. Henry steps up, throws, and the ball comes loose, incomplete. Bakari Grant couldn't hang on.
Tyrone Brackenridge. He came across the middle, voted the best hitter and hardest hitter in our TSN poll of the players. Came across the middle and put his shoulder into Bakari Grant.
Sanders at his 40, and he gets leveled. There's Marcellus Bowman downfield trying to quiet the crowd. Boy, when the Ticats are on offense, I'm not sure you'd hear those snowbirds if they were flying over.
You're right about that. And that's not a surprise.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness. Saskatchewan, number 42, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for this Rough Rider football team and their fans.
And a Saskatchewan native gets flagged here. Greg Newman maybe just a little too pumped up. The former Hilltop gets tagged with the penalty.
Consider the Ottawa Red Blacks joining the league next year. It'll be a 9-team league, possibly 10 in the next 5 to 10 years. And the rotation of the Grey Cup, the chances of this happening ever again, slim.
Corey Sheets busting tackles and wrapping again. Well over 100 yards now in this opening half, and Sheets has done most of his damage this year in the second half of games.
128 yards rushing in the first half tonight for Corey Sheets, as he keeps going to the right side of the offensive line. This time, Saskatchewan native Neil Hughes with a kick-out block to help him get started.
Big boys are bulldozing up front, and now Durant going to take off. Brandon Isaac in pursuit, and he'll push Durant out at midfield. 5 for the Rough Rider quarterback.
They're feeding it to him.
Second in the league in the regular season, but got off to that amazing start. And looks like he's going to be on target for the greatest rushing game in Grey Cup history for the Rough Riders. George Reed at 133, the record for Saskatchewan back in the 66 game. Durant, Todd Smith the catch, and he is taken down by Simone Lawrence, but it's another Rough Rider first down. Well, this one of the biggest quarters in Grey Cup history.
Could break the record with a touchdown. Winnipeg versus Edmonton back in 1990 with 28 points in the third.
Into the final minute, first down, Hamilton 51. Durant steps up. Simon hit that. Jamal Johnson just took out a little frustration on Corey Sheets.
Yes, he did. That's exactly what it was. See the paint on the top of his helmet. Got a little green on the top of that black helmet right here.
Grey Cup ring with the 2006 BC Lions. 9-year CFLer. Second down, Durant, and he gets nailed again. Durant in a vulnerable position that time. And as they unpile, is he okay? And is the Tie-Cat all right?
Both tackler and tacklee a little wobbly getting up there. Durant took his time, didn't he?
Yeah, that's Jamal Johnson again, as Boudreau kind of stood him up, and helmet to helmet right on the jaw.
Now at that time, he is a runner in the open field with a tackler pushing him down.
Mentioned that hit last week in the Western Final, slow to get up. I thought it was because of a hit on the helmet, and he said, I did get hit on the helmet, but I really thought I'd suffered a serious knee injury. He was okay. He's been more than okay in this first half. They take a knee and get a standing ovation. What a first half for the home team. Determined not to be denied. Here on home turf, let's check in with Sarah Orleski and Kent Austin.
Kent, your team seemed to have no answer for the Riders in the first half. What's the first step to changing that in the second?
Well, we got to tackle better. We got to quit giving up big plays. Offense got to move the ball. We had a couple opportunities. We dislodged the ball 2 other times. They got a great bounce, led to their first touchdown. But we got to play better offensively right now.
Thank you, Kent. To Farhan Lalji with G. Roy Simon.
Giroy, you said to me earlier this week you thought there was a chance you'd be more involved based on their coverages, but you didn't want to get too ahead of yourself. What's it feel like to have this kind of impact?
It feels good to have an opportunity to make plays. It's been good so far, but we got to finish the game off.
Thanks, Giroy.
Thank you.
Well, Headley revved up this building in this city even further, but look at the score at the half of the 101st Grey Cup. The Saskatchewan Roughriders up 31-6 here in Regina. Welcome back. Dave Randolph along with the boys. Chris Schultz, Milt Stiegel, Matt Dunnigan, Jock Climbing. The party is on behind us. There's still 2 quarters to play. Of course, Darian Durant came into this Grey Cup with a quarterback rating over 140. It does not go much higher than that. All week long, Matty, you've been saying he has to be their MOP. Nobody else. I guess he looks okay to you.
Yeah, more of the same that what we saw in the first 2 playoff games, and he was on fire in the first half. Got some breaks to go his way, but when he took matters into his own hands, Darian Durant simply got his team going. Started running the football, which we know ignited him a couple weeks ago against BC and really broke that game open. I think the same thing has happened here with Darian Durant. When he decides to use his legs, it's special. And when he's not using his legs, he was airing it out to none other than Superman, who had a tremendous first half. Josh Kleiman, you said at the beginning of the year, he does not have to be great for this football team. He doesn't have to be the go-to guy. But if he comes up big in the playoffs, he's worth the price tag that they brought to Saskatchewan for. And Giroy Simons delivered in the first half, along with his quarterback, who's had all the pressure in the world on him. And I think that's been the difference, certainly, in the football game.
Well, I've always thought that the Grey Cup comes down to 3 phases. Your first phase is how do you play when your adrenaline is pumping, you're jumping out of your skin, you're so excited. Second phase is simply how do you play when both teams are calm and playing their game. And the third phase is the critical last couple of minutes of a game. We've seen the first 2 phases. Saskatchewan, very fortunate to survive phase 1. They had 2 critical fumbles in the first 6 minutes, which had Hamilton recovered. And had they scored off them, this would be a different game. This is guys whose adrenaline is simply going, and they're not calm and playing their usual game. Darian Durant caught a huge break right here with Corey Sheaf picking up the ball and taking it for positive yardage. And then we get into the second phase of the game when both teams were being Hamilton and Saskatchewan, and we saw Saskatchewan truly dominant.
Milt, the Hamilton Tiger Cats rolled into here, into Rider Nation as huge underdogs, but we have felt they've looked like a very cool, calm, collected bunch all week. They didn't in the first half, did they?
No, they didn't. I don't know if they knew what they were getting into. I don't know if they knew the pressure they were getting into, and not just pressure from the opposing team, but pressure from the fans, pressure from the media, and pressure from the atmosphere. And one player in specific, Henry Burris. Henry Burris had to know what he was getting into. Henry Burris needs to come out in this second half and calm down. This game is dependent on if he can make a comeback. Yeah, it is 31-6, but like they say in the CFL, no lead is safe. But if people are saying this lead may be safe if Henry Burris continues playing like he did in his first half. And I think it's safe to say if Henry Burris continues playing like he did in this second half, we may see Matt Dunnigan in the game.
Ouch. You know, Schulte, you're working on the sidelines tonight for TSN Radio. Did you see anything down there on the Hamilton sideline after that bad snap that sailed past Burris?
Well, here's what I saw. The game started early, and the Hamilton Ticats were a confident football team, and then they hit some adversity. And as every little bit of adversity happened, you could see their confidence went down and down and down. This third quarter, for lack of a better expression, they got to man up. They have to execute the fundamentals of the game better. That's the bottom line. Right now, they look like a team that's very young playing against a team that's very veteran, and the veterans are schooling the young guys. Chuck, you brought up that point about the practice before the game, where in the case of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, very serious-minded. The case for the Hamilton Ticats, kind of happy to be there. And I think that is 100% reflected on the football field. Yes.
Paul Appelese, the GMC Coach's Playbook, is with us now. Tell us about Hamilton's pass defense and their struggles, Lapo.
Yeah, it's been happening all game. It started in the first quarter. Getzlaff and Simon both have big plays in this game. Let's go to this play from the first quarter. You're going to see this. Let's look at the protection first. Let's zoom it down. Look at this angle. Look at this pocket. Great pocket for Darian. Bring it back out, though. Everybody else on this field is playing man-to-man coverage. Then you see the dig coming from Getzlaff to the middle of the field. Arthur Huff, for some reason, just gives it up and doesn't cover him. The safeties work into the middle of the field to open up this area, but that's not his fault. Watch, the field halfback just stops and doesn't cover him. Everybody else is in man coverage. You can't make a mistake like this. It puts you in a situation when you have got a great pocket and plenty of time, you're going to be in a bad situation. Again, you can't give up those 4 big plays, and it's really hurt them because they can throw it wherever they need to.
Lapo, thanks very much. Geroy Simon has played in 3 Grey Cups prior to tonight. No touchdowns. Tonight, in his first as a Rider, he's got 2. And Saskatchewan is up 31-6.
A lot of Rough Rider highlights in that opening half, and obviously the numbers reflect the domination in the opening 30 minutes.
Take a look at the yards rushing. 168 for Saskatchewan, just 3 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Did not get C.J. Gable involved in the game, and now they're going to have to throw it to try and get back in the game.
Saskatchewan legislature lit in Ryder Green all week. Almost a provincial holiday here Friday, and everybody in Saskatchewan was wearing green that day. 30 minutes away. Ticats will get the ball first in the second half to try and swing a little momentum. They also will have the wind at their back. And Brandon Banks is contained, and that's the second special team tackle for Daryl Stevenson on the night.
I mentioned in the first half, Ken Austin is one of the best coaches I've seen to be able to make adjustments as the game goes on. He did it in the semifinal against the Montreal Alouettes. Went to a spread offense deep into the 4th quarter that produced their go-ahead drive in that game. They won it in overtime. Let's see what adjustments he has.
36-3.
A sack in 2007 when the Rough Riders won, and he has a sack here in 2013.
Runs a stunt with Keith Sholigan, and it is that spread formation where Chick goes inside, Sholigan comes around, wraps around it outside. And it's just relentless pass rush from John Chick. He gets the double team, bounces off, tries to knock the ball down, and Burroughs is going to throw, and then is there to tackle him.
Second sack of the game for Saskatchewan. Three-man rush underneath, pass is caught, complete. Andy Baptiste will wrestle down short of the first down. And another 2 and out to open the second half for the Tiger Cats.
The adjustment I could see was similar to that in Montreal in the semifinal from Ken Austin. He went with no backs in the first down, but that 4-man pressure from Saskatchewan, led by John Chick, wouldn't allow him time to throw the football.
Hurry up into punt formation, and Bartel will angle it downfield, and this will bounce out inside the 40-yard line. Well, we mentioned Corey Sheets is on pace here early in the 3rd quarter to break a Rough Rider Grey Cup record held by the legend George Reed.
1966, had 133 yards rushing in the Grey Cup, and standing ovation when he handed the Outstanding Player Award to John Cornish. The award showed George Reed, over 16,000 yards, is here tonight.
Great man. One of the classiest of all the CFL Hall of Famers. And Corey Sheets has his eyes on George Reed right now. Cut down by Rico Murray, but there's nothing stopping Corey Sheets tonight. 13 more.
Well, a monster first half for Corey Sheets continues in the first play of their offensive sets in the second half. Nice bump again there as he bounces to the outside. That patience he shows you gets into the secondary and is brought down late by Rico Murray. He has the record.
26-4.
And counting for Corey Sheets. First down looked one way, and now Durant goes the other out of the reach of Geroy Simon. Maybe a few more records before this night is done, the way the Roughriders are performing. But there was a shift late in the season. Sheets talked a lot about records early in the year. Got hurt, and it took him out of the 2K pursuit and even a shot at Mike Pringle.
Well, the sparring between he and John Cornish ended after October 22nd.
And it's all been about team since. Neil Hughes brought down by Simone Lawrence. Hughes, who has been raised through Regina football, the Junior Thunder, the CIS Rams, and now playing for the big boys. Family season ticket holders for generations.
A few guys like that in this lineup for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, including Chris Getzlaff.
You know, Corey Sheets was hurt in a game against Toronto here, and Neil Hughes came in at the tailback spot, and he had a big second half replacing Corey Sheets, a guy who's not just on the roster because he is from Regina. Simone Lawrence shaken up on that last tackle.
Was shaken up in the first half on the hit on Darian Durant that forced a fumble that Corey Sheets picked up, and it turned into a 42-yard play, which tied for the longest play for the Riders in the first half. The Geroy touchdown, the second one for Geroy Simon, equaled that 42 yards.
He bounces up. Everybody, even back in July when Hamilton came, was anticipating the return of Austin and Burris and Fantouz. And in 6 quarters and a couple of minutes, it's been 68-6 here at Mosaic for the Roughriders. So the welcome mat got pulled quickly. 37-0 in July.
Such a young defense, too, for the Hamilton Tiger Cats that took half the season to really find their game. And then most of them not playing. This is their first Grey Cup game, just do not have Grey Cup experience.
Big rush. Schmidt gets it away. And gets a bounce. And Banks. And the cover team's done the job. Paul Waldew's been great all year. Levi Steinauer there as well on the cover team for the Roughriders. It's the backyard of quite a few Saskatchewan Roughriders, including Chris Getzlaff. And with more, here's Farhan Lalji.
Chris, one of the big storylines for this game is 2013 to exercise the demon of the 13th man, but for Chris Getzlaff, he's not buying it. He was a member of that team in 2009, and he said that he has worn that more than most other players because he is from Regina. He makes this his full-time home, and he says that virtually every public appearance he's made since then, he has been asked about it, and he says no matter what happens in this game, it will not erase that. If they win today, he'll believe that he should have 2, not just 1, but he's looking forward to finding out what it feels like to get a Grey Cup ring on the field. You'll remember when they won in 2007, he was only on the practice roster, guys.
Yeah, if this score sticks, I don't think he's going to get asked about 2009 as much.
It starts to go away.
Diamond Ferry was injured on the last punt cover and slowly makes his way to the sidelines. Ticat football, 7 2-and-outs in the game. 6 of their last 7 possessions. Take the gamble downfield, and the pass behind Andy Fantouz.
Mentioned Chris Getzlaff, the leading receiver for Saskatchewan this year. Said he modeled his game after a guy he loved in Ray Elgard. Loved his physical play. Of course, he was on that '89 team and told me during the week that he talks to his brother Ryan, the National Hockey League Anaheim Mighty Ducks, about every big game. The brothers talk. I said, is it an X and O's talk? Is it a pep talk? What kind of talk is it? He said before the Canadian gold medal game, it was him talking to him. It's more just about family than anything else.
2nd and 10. over the middle, a completion and a first down. And there he is, Bakari Grant. Again, the leading receiver for the Ticats in the regular season, just short of 1,000 yards in a personal best season. And he didn't play in the final game of the regular season, rested for the playoffs.
Little dig route as he turns. Turns Rod Williams inside out. Get across the middle for a key first down for Hamilton. They've got to start to generate. They've got to push the ball down the field. Start to believe again if they can score here.
At the 40, a quick hitter, and that's through the hands of Grant, incomplete.
You know, I talked to Ken Austin about when Henry Burris starts to struggle a little bit. What is it? Sometimes he babies the throw, he says. Sometimes he'll aim it rather than just let it go. And it looks like that throw behind Andy Fantus was a little bit like that. That last throw was a little bit like that. He did hit Bakari Grant, but now he's in that difficult second and long once more.
Burris 65.8% in the regular season, second best of his 14-year CFL career. Downfield and out of the reach of the intended target, Greg Ellingson.
Not much of a window to get it in there. Tristan Jackson in the area, count of 3 Rider defenders breaking on that football. Ken Austin reacting to the last incompletion.
Kicked by Bartell, bouncing around the 30-yard line, and Sanders will get bumped out. 8th punt for the Ticats in the game. No margin for error for the Hamilton defense in the second half. With more on the black and gold defense, here's Sarah.
Thanks, Chris. We talk about the need for adjustments at the half. Well, this Ticats team has been very good at it, particularly on defense. When you look at the last 5 games, in 4 of those 5 games, they've trailed going into the second half, and yet they have gone on to win the game. How is this for a number, though? Their defense has only given up a combined 25 points over the last 5 games in the second half, including shutting out Ricky Ray and the Toronto Argonauts last week in Toronto. They are used to adversity, and they're going to need some quick 2 and outs here today if these Ticats are going to get back in this.
Ricky Ray with only 60 yards passing in the second half last week, but they need more than stops now. They probably need takeaways, something they haven't done well this year.
Well, Chris, they may need to score.
And you expect the Roughriders to do just this and stay on the ground. And Corey Sheets taken to the ground. There's the Iceman, Brandon Isaac, a Grey Cup champion last year with the Argos under the design of Orlando Steinauer when he was with the Argos.
Steinauer told me that he had a conversation with Jamal Johnson early in the season about taking a real leadership role, and he's going to need that leader in the middle of this defense to make the big play for him. I think the Ticats are going to have to score on defense.
2nd and 12. Durant finds Simon. Drilled on the play by McCullough. Looks like he'll be short of the first down at the 45. In fact, inside that, it'll be a couple of yards short.
Well, it was a couple of yards short, but watch what Hamilton tries to do. Steinauer drops Brian Balke, their defensive tackle, out of the defensive line. He drops in. That's where G-Roy Simon is going to get it, because that's a defensive lineman trying to react to a receiver. He's not going to get there. They're a little bit short, but the right play and the right throw, right decision.
3rd 2 and out for the Riders. There's Banks back. Good against the wind. It's still around 30 Ks, and it's pretty good boot. That's going the wrong way, and again that cover team. This time it's Brackenridge leading the assault downfield. Well, can the former Rough Rider and the top Canadian in 07 help spark the Ticats on the next series? It's the biggest day on the Canadian sports calendar. And Prime Minister Stephen Harper, special guest of Commissioner Mark Cohon. We saw him in BC earlier this year. and in Montreal, and I expect we'll see the Prime Minister at Lansdowne Park next year.
Opening of the Ottawa Red Blacks inaugural season. I love when I see the Prime Minister sitting in the stands with the fans. Whether it's a big-time hockey game, championship football game, he's in the stands with the people. I love it.
There's a pitch and C.J. Gable on the run. Haven't seen much of that today. Yeah, that's good production on the ground for Carl Jr. Gable.
We haven't,
USC.
We haven't, Chris. We haven't seen much of it, and that really surprises me for a couple of reasons. C.J. Gable had over 700 yards and a 6-yard running average in the regular season. Didn't play as many games as Corey Sheets. Was basically invisible in the first half.
This time a play-action fake to Gable. Morris will sidearm it and incomplete. Intended for Grant.
Trying to throw around the rush there.
Hey, time! Flip 59.
Cats have scored only 3 points with the wind in this game. Roughriders have 24 of their 31 with the wind at their back. Second and 10. Has some time and a crosser. He is caught. Fantuz, the sure-handed catch to keep that Ticat offense on the field.
Weldon Brown can't cover it any better. It's just Andy Fantuz just fighting for this football. He's got those big mitts. Runs a little bit of a slant route just to the left of your screen. You can see he's working on number 35, Weldon Brown, who gets underneath them in a perfect position. But watch how 83 Andy Fantuz just battles with one hand, keeps it off the turf.
First down, and now the draw to Gable. And he gets that. McElvain there. Keith Shulligan hanging on.
It's a Gable sandwich. McElvain one side, Shulligan from the other. Jermaine McElvain's been huge for this team in the playoffs when they lost. Terrius George had an interception against the Calgary Stampeders on a screen play early on in that game in the West Final. The two interior defensive linemen controlling the line of scrimmage. One of the reasons that Ken Austin and Tommy Condell have gone away from Gable in the running game.
Second and 9. Earl steps up and intercepted. Weldon Brown has come up with the football.
Weldon Brown, Tyrone Brackenridge, and Craig Butler are all really interchangeable parts in Richie Hall's defense. They can all play linebacker. They can all play free safety and stay in the middle. And sometimes they'll rob those crossing routes. That's exactly what Weldon Brown does this. Greg Ellingson tried to run the dig. Weldon Brown is just going to settle back in here, and it's basically a robber defense. He's not deep. He lets his man, drops him, plays that inside underneath coverage on Ellingson, and has a pick.
So Corey Sheets goes back to work. Again, good first down production on the ground for Sheets. Jamal Johnson, a tackle and a 5-yard pickup for number 1. Again, just under 1,000 yards for Sheets on the ground in the second half of games this year.
Well, 129 yards in the first half of this game. Usually is better in the second. That's what Hamilton faces now.
Second and 5. Durant steps up, laterals, and he gets drilled. It's a little dangerous.
Yeah, and I think probably Corey Chamberlain will talk to Darian Durant. Now, Durant wants to keep his foot on the pedal no matter what the score, based on his past experience in 2009 and 2010. But he may just be reminded that this is a comfortable lead right now for Saskatchewan, and this kind of play here can get you in trouble. It can turn momentum quickly and get away with it.
And I think before Corey Chamberlain can remind him, G-Roy Simon already has. You see Bulky with the tackle on Sheets. Hey! And that one really hangs up. Well, the wind caught that. And the Ticats will jump up and have great field position. That's a 10-yard punt. Doesn't look like the wind has picked up.
Ricky Schmidt had a good rush on him. And I don't think he ever hit it square. He wants a penalty. But the wind did knock it down once it went off the side of his foot.
No yards. Saskatchewan number 27. 5-yard penalty. First down, Hamilton.
It is a privilege for us to be able to bring our troops this game on Canadian Forces radio and television, watching in Afghanistan, Kuwait, the Persian Gulf, and Egypt, and stationed around the world. Well, it's now or never for the Ticats with great field position. And a first down throw to Andy Fantuz, who steps out at the 29. 5th catch of the game for Fantuz.
Yeah, I think the best way we can show our appreciation to our men and women in the Canadian Forces is to say flat out thank you for what you do around the world every single day. The true Team Canada.
After a 6-for-7 start, Burris is now 8 for 23 in the game. And that one will be batted down. Like Craig Butler got his hand on it. He's been big against the Ticats all year. A quarterback sack, a fumble recovery, an interception in the regular season against Hamilton, and a knockdown here.
Interchangeable part in this Hull defense. Comes off the edge. Times the jump perfectly. Craig Butler is always around the football.
Rolling into the sideline, Simon Ferry in, 2nd and 10 for Burris. Got it away. And that's another clutch catch for Fantuz. Down at the 18, another first down. And I guess it's not a surprise that 83 is the prime target, but he's doing all the work.
Well, they're going to have to lean on him big time. Remember the 2007 Grey Cup? Saskatchewan Roughriders beat Winnipeg. He was huge in that game. Kerry Joseph, the starting quarterback. Henry Burris needs him now.
Just under 900 yards in 12 games in the regular season, none against the Roughriders. A fake to Gable, and Burris will take off. Henry Burris, touchdown! Tiger Cats, an 18-yard run.
Sure, the message from Ken Austin at halftime was one possession at a time, just chip away. Don't think of it as you've got to make it all up in one series. Don't look at the scoreboard, get one at a time. They get one to give this football team hope. Good decision here by Henry Burris. Gets outside, he has a choice to throw it to Andy Fantuz, but the lane to hit for him to run opens up and he takes it.
Did not score a touchdown in the regular season. Marcus Ball last week said Burris beat us with his legs. He legs one into the end zone to give the Ticats some hope. And after an interception on the last series, that good field position converted by Burris. 40-yard touchdown drive and an 18-yard run for a major.
Watch the play fake here. John Chick goes right down with C.J. Gable. That gets Henry Burris on the edge on that play fake. Now Burris gets outside of that containment, and now he's got a choice. Andy Fantuz, who Weldon Brown's trying to track down, and look at the lane that opens up for Burris. No green jerseys around, and all of a sudden Hamilton, they've got a long way to go, but now they've got hope.
Just kicked one. Would you have gone for two there, or would have made it a 16-point lead?
You take the
if
points.
Successful, but
I think you take the points. You take the single. Got a whole quarter to play.
Keeps the momentum going.
Absolutely.
So that means you're not short kicking here either. Nope.
Kick it deep. See if the Hamilton defense can now feed off a little of that momentum.
Riders are all up though, just in case. And this one will bounce downfield, and it will be an illegal kickoff. That's not what they wanted. And it will give the Roughriders great field position after the touchdown.
Illegal kickoff. Hamilton number 7. First down Saskatchewan on the 45-yard line.
Riders with 3 punts on 3 possessions in the second half. And Corey Sheets not going anywhere. Wrestled down by the big defensive tackle, Torrey Davis.
One of the reasons for that, Chris, is the play on first down of the Hamilton defense, who are building on the momentum of that Henry Burris touchdown on that first play. Right in the hole. Torrey Davis shuts it down.
Now we are late in the third quarter, but you get the sense of urgency here. Ticats look for a stop and get the ball back with about 90 seconds of time with the wind here in this third quarter. Second and 10. Durant looking for Simon, incomplete. Evan McCullough with the breakup.
Darren Durant had a little bit of pressure in his face on that throw. Tried to go to G-Roy Simon, who's won a couple of routes on Evan McCullough. This time McCullough sits on this curl. Watch the pressure first on Darian Durant as he has to kind of throw around this rush a little bit. Feels it in his face from Brandon Boudreau. And then G-Roy Simon as McCullough sits on this curl and is right there to knock it away.
Third consecutive 2 and out. Better kick by Schmidt. Brandon Banks reverses field and finally finds a crease. Away goes Banks over the 50 and just dragged down at the Roughrider 50-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle perhaps for Greg Newman. 27-yard return. And suddenly there's still some life in the Cats.
Well, and they have momentum. They just grabbed momentum. Henry Burris started it. The defense got the 2 and out. And now you take a look at Banks with a real good return against a cover team that has been absolutely solid here tonight for Saskatchewan. Little crease.
They've used most of their 9 lives, but there's still some hope. Second straight start on the Roughriders side. A pump, and wide open is Tasker, and Luke Tasker wrestled down at the 27-yard line. Son of former NFL great Steve Tasker.
Played 3 games late September, early October. Basically made the roster from there. Of course, Steve Tasker, his father, who he talks with all the time, 7-time Pro Bowler in the National Football League. Hamilton is starting to roll a little bit offensively.
25 to Tasker, first down, and Burris looking near the end zone. Ellingson, and the pass behind him, isolated on Weldon Brown.
Well, the officials have done a nice job letting the guys play tonight. Again, a little bit of contact down the field, but again, I think it's the right call to not make a call here for the officials. Let the guys on the field determine the outcome of the play and the outcome of this game. Weldon Brown is in good position, and no argument or complaint from Greg Ellingson.
Final play, third quarter, second and 10. And that ball tipped and it falls incomplete. Wanted to get it to Van Toos once again. And somebody got a paw on it at the line. We're through 3 quarters at Mosaic. Ticats trying to mount a comeback, but they've got a long way to go. TSN decision desk was getting a little trigger finger happy at halftime, but the Ticats are still in this as they out first down the Roughriders 7-1 in the third quarter.
Yeah, and you can see the net yards in the third quarter, 115 to 25 for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. They got a couple of returns. Henry Burris with the touchdown. They have a little bit of momentum.
Do you notice the Roughriders getting too conservative?
Well, a little bit, but they've all year long relied on Corey Sheets to run the football in the second half and tie games up, seal the game, so to speak. They've tried to do that, and Hamilton's done a nice job on first down. They're stopping on first in that third quarter, getting him into a second and long situation.
Now Luka Kaji from 33 yards out. And Luka's got enough to get it through into the wind. And it's now a 15-point lead at 31-16. Well, they've got some work to do yet to join that company. Saw that great Montreal comeback that almost gets overlooked because of the last play drama in Calgary in 2009.
Darian Durant all season long brought up 2009 when not even asked.
See if the Roughriders open it up a little bit. He is going to go to the air. Pressure on. And Durant will throw it away. That's a wise decision with nobody open.
So also got a little bit quieter here in Mosaic Stadium. It's an entire province, it sounds, it feels like, just got a little bit nervous. Darian Durant has to throw this away. Good pressure up the middle by Torrey Davis.
Sarah mentioned Orlando Steinauer's defense has been stout in the second half all year long. Making some adjustments that have limited Durant to 2 second half completions. Make it 3 into the hands of Weston Dressler. And Rico Murray with the tackle that should leave Dressler short of the first down. Looks like a yard and a half short. And the punt team will come on. So the fourth 2 and out for the Roughriders. And if Hamilton scores on the next possession, it really gets interesting.
Does it ever? Milt Stegall said it at halftime. In the CFL, no score is safe. No lead is safe.
Schmidt gets that one up into the breeze. And it's fielded by Tasker. And the cover team does the job this time. Welcome back to Mosaic. Corey Sheets is in the GMC Coaches Playbook with Paul Appelese.
Yeah, Chris, Corey Sheets has been the problem for the Hamilton defense all game. He's averaging over 12 yards a carry. He's done a tremendous job of making sure he can bounce plays back. Take a look at this formation adjustment they made. They've got Getzlaff motion across the field here. You're going to see him as he comes. He's going to add into the run scheme. He's going to block the backside edge. The defender covering him now has to add into the scheme as well. So if he doesn't, which doesn't happen right here, there's a huge lane. Corey Sheets doesn't cut to it. He's at the heels of the offensive lineman. He makes what I call a jump cut, does a tremendous job. And I'll tell you, that rush right there broke the Riders' single game rushing record. So they've got to handle him if they want to get better and back into this game.
Well, the defense has dialed it up, and now can the offense keep this Tiger Cat momentum going? Goes into the middle, and incomplete. Terrell Mays covering on Van Toos in his hip pocket.
Saskatchewan Roughriders continue to substitute. They bring in Jermaine McElvain to play the interior of the D-line on this key second down and long. Andy Fantus just can't create any separation, working one-on-one on Terrell Mays.
Mays with an interception in the Western Final. 2nd and 10. Brackenridge off deep. Burris scrambling, and he'll take it. He's got a first down up across the 35-yard line. Tripped up by Carlos Thomas, a former Ticat.
Greg Butler came into the linebacking core, but he's going to bounce when he sees C.J. Gable release out of the backfield. That takes the only linebacker left in the middle there back outside. Now, that's a running lane created for Henry Burris.
16 more for Burris. 298 rushing yards during the regular season. Over 5,000 in his career. And dumps it off. Ellingson had to reach back for it, but has a catch at the 45. Ellingson, who had 800 yards in 12 games, suffered a stress fracture in his leg and missed the final third of the season.
Well, it's a shoe-in for Rookie of the Year early in the year. All but 85 of those 800 yards came in the first 11 games.
He played Arena Football League. This is his 25th game of the year. He's played more football in 2013 than any other pro. Second and a long 3. And Tasker can't bring it in. Incomplete to the former Cornell product who played under Austin at Cornell, Luke Tasker.
Craig Butler cut underneath this throw. Terrell Mays, who's quietly having a big game, is over the top, and that's why it was incomplete. You got the reaction from Ken Austin.
You knew how big that play was by the coach's reaction. That's a great boot against the wind. And Sanders doesn't have much room. He'll step out. Just shy of the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter. A quarter in the postseason that has been owned by the Roughriders. They've outscored their opponents 26-3, and the 3 points were the Kanji field goal here on the change of ends to start the fourth quarter. Roughriders would love to work the clock, and I think the Ticats are looking for the turnover that Glenn Suter's talking about. Boudreau brings down Sheets after a gain of 6 yards.
Brandon Boudreau makes a tackle, and if not, he's the only guy of the 12 defenders for the Hamilton Tiger Cats here. He doesn't make this tackle. Corey Sheets is still running. The Saskatchewan Roughriders had 319, look at all that space, yards in the first half of this football game offensively. Just 34 plus those few from Sheets.
Another big second down, and there was movement. Ticats all pointing at that Rough Rider offensive line. Somebody flinched. Durant's been so good at changing his cadence to draw. Offside, but did one of those linemen move first?
Well, Chris Best and Ben Heenan were real
Procedure, Saskatchewan, number 66. It's a 5-yard penalty. Will remain second down.
Was Chris Best, 7-year man. Missed half a season, 7-2 when he's been in the lineup.
Well, that right side was outstanding in the first half. You could see him rock back out of his 3-point stance.
Well, that changes the play call. Underneath, brought back, got the catch. There is a flag. And it would be a first down for the comeback kid. Is it coming back? It looks like it is.
Eric Norwood is out there giving the fans here at Mosaic Stadium the holding signal.
Saskatchewan, number 66. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
Back-to-back against Chris Best.
Most important play is the next one, and Chris Best, after the procedure call, goes into this play. He gets to Norwood late, drags him down.
Ticats raving about how Norwood gets better by the week. Rookie season out of South Carolina. Got a Corey Sheets drive. Norwood in pursuit. And Sheets got a touchdown.
Oh, boy.
What a run for Corey Sheets. And with that run, it should be a Grey Cup rushing record. Just broke Johnny Bright's record that has stood since 1956.
What a play by Corey Sheets. That bounce and delay to get outside, outrun the angle of Evan McCullough. Nice blocking from Brendan Labatt, Dominic Picard. They double team and create some space.
He's at 172 on the night and counting. Across midfield.
Made just to broke the back of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That second and long run. Corey Sheets is closing in on 200 yards in this game.
270 in 2 regular season games against Hamilton. There it is. A new Grey Cup standard. Now Sanders takes a turn. And the Ticats having trouble stopping the run.
Take it back a look at 1956 and Johnny Bright when he set the mark. The Edmonton Eskimos beat Montreal 50-27 this Grey Cup.
Yeah, that record stood. It's older than me, so you know it's old. Johnny Bright, the legend, in a big Edmonton win on that day at varsity. As the Roughriders, who put 256 rushing yards up against Calgary, just got stopped in their tracks there. Brandon Boudreau just said enough is enough. And he brings down Jock Sanders.
Well, he guessed right and came inside here. He did have some help outside from Neil King, but he comes in and just plays the run completely, thinking that Saskatchewan will keep with it until they stop it. So they stop it. Hamilton won't give up points here unless this ball goes into the end zone for a single. But they have lost a whole bunch of valuable field position.
And a little more time off the clock. Midway through this fourth quarter. And Schmidt will blast that through. And will Banks bring it out? Well, it's going to be a point. There is a flag, though, as Ricky Schmidt was hit, and I think the Roughriders will decline the point and take the football and eat up a few more yards and seconds.
Major foul, roughing the kicker. Hamilton, number 17, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Luke Tasker, the guilty party, as the Ticats were thinking block.
Leg still in the air for Ricky Schmidt, no question. The plant leg hit by Tasker. New set of downs for Saskatchewan in scoring range.
Sheets back in. Durant's going to throw, or is he? Might take off. And he slides after a yard with Frederick Plessius. Another Rouge or product from Laval there to make sure he wasn't going anywhere.
Congratulations to Laval in their Vanier Cup win over Calgary, 25-14.
Mark Durant at the original line of scrimmage, so it is 2nd and 10. Ticket 34-yard line. And looking for Dressel. Down at the 4 for West Weston Dressler.
With the change at safety and Neil King, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have brought him down low, and they brought him off the edge a bunch in this game. Not necessarily a cover guy like Courtney Stevens to stay back in the middle. The middle has been open for most of this game, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders have really not tried to exploit it just yet, but this time Weston Dressler is the adjusting route. He goes to the middle where the safety is vacated. Big play for Saskatchewan.
The man who missed the 2009 Grey Cup with a broken leg, or Sheets, puts it inside to the touchdown.
Go back in this half after Hamilton had some momentum. That second and real long run by Corey Sheets. A roughing the kicker play, a new set of downs, turns into what really should seal it for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Overpowering performance by number 1. We're just over 5 minutes away from declaring a champion. Earlier today, the second annual Sun Life Breakup March along the Green Mile to Mosaic. And now, as is customary, it is brought into the stadium with about 5 minutes to go. Let's hope it makes it to the field.
Man, I get shivers every time I see that. That's what it's all about. A chance to hoist that cup.
Players that pass have mentioned that when that cup is brought down, the game's still on. It's like an extra jolt of adrenaline. Banks on the return, looking for a crease, and a straight arm on Diamond Ferry. Well, Brandon Banks with a good return, and he's been a great acquisition for the Ticats. There is a flag down, other side of the field.
2 key blocks on the touchdown, one by Brendan Labatt and one by the Saskatchewan product, the Regina product, Neil Hughes, who's going to get the block on Evan McCullough. First, Labatt doesn't allow inside penetration, so Sheets has time to bounce. Now he's got Hughes in front of him. He ties up
After
McCullough.
Play, major foul, Hamilton, number 45, 15 yards, first down.
Darno Gascon Nadeau, another Laval product, and he is flagged to negate some of that Banks return. Last touchdown march, 11 plays, 82 yards for the Roughriders. And Buzz really hit hard, ball loose, and up with it is Ricky Foley.
John Chick's had a big game.
Has he ever?
He has been camped out in the Hamilton backfield. And remember, John Chick was a Rider in 2009. Swim move on Tim O'Neill. Just before the end of the third, he had that knockdown to end the drive. Another big play.
Sack, knockdown, forced fumble. One of the most popular of the Riders. now to make sure there's no doubt. Durant into the corner for Dressler. Flag down. Weston Dressler in the corner.
Let's see what the flag is. But if it's against Hamilton, let the party begin. Well, it began Monday, actually. But let it continue.
Pass interference. Hamilton, number 0. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Well, a touchdown in the 2 regular season games against Hamilton. And he has one in the biggest game of the year against Hamilton.
What a catch. Just magic from Weston Dressler. We saw it in the West Final. You see it game in and game out. He makes the contested catch 90% of the time. Not a big guy, but man, does he play big.
Celebrations on in Raider Nation. No, since G-Roy Simon has joked this year, maybe he wasn't joking, that so many of Weston Dressler's touchdowns are layups. That wasn't a layup.
Well, Dressler, it's just magic how he uses motion before the snap to get himself in the right position. Little slide motion inside. Now he wants to run the fade where he fades away from Rico Murray, but still Murray in good position. Can't cover him any better, but more times than not, Weston Dressler comes up with that catch, and that seals the deal. Saskatchewan Roughriders will win their 4th cup.
2 touchdowns in the Western Semi against BC, a touchdown in the Western Final against Calgary, and a touchdown on the final Sunday in November against the Tiger Cats.
Oh, shit.
Now Brandon Banks has been good on the returns tonight. 3:40 left. Final Grey Cup game ever to be played here at Mosaic. There will be a new stadium in Saskatchewan in 2017. Of course, the Ticats will have a new home next year at Tim Hortons Field. Burris on a roll, and he's got Jaguar open. Tackled heavily at the 45-yard line, and he's a little slow to get up.
You see a big difference. Again, Darian Durant talking about how different this team is with the veterans involved. Tyron Brackenridge comes over. Weldon Brown, a free agent on defense. Darian goes deep. The game in hand to seal it.
Pitch to Gable. And he's brought down. Alex Hall picked up late in the year from Winnipeg. We've hit the 3-minute warning at Mosaic, and the celebration's on. The storybook finish unfolding here at Mosaic for these rabid Roughrider fans. Ticats have the football at the 42 of Saskatchewan. 2nd and 7. Burris over the middle, and incomplete play wise. Intended for McCarty.
35-10. Said this team was all in when he went and started signing free agents. General manager for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Wanted to bring more of a veteran presence, especially to his defense, but that was also
Saskatchewan, number 35, 10-yard penalty, first down.
You heard Craig Chamberlain addressing his team before the game. This team was built to win this game. season and everything they've done. Despite the disappointment here, that foundation's been laid.
Ball is hit in. They found their guy. For the future, Ken Austin is the answer. He's got a great young team. They'll be back.
Is there too. Front-footed at the 16-yard line.
Hamilton Tiger Cats Bob Young this week. And a great conversation about his leader, the football ops, Kent Austin, said the moment I sat down with him and asked him about leadership, I knew I had found the guy. They've got their guy. He had all kinds of rookies in this lineup, all kinds of injuries all year. The road warriors that they were playing their games in blood, and they rebuild and build a new stadium in Hamilton. This team has got a bright future.
The backfield can't hold on. Diamond Ferry there, and that move using Ferry a little more in the middle has paid off in this game.
It paid off, Chris, because the front four for the Saskatchewan Roughriders controlled the line of scrimmage. If Hamilton thought they could have got C.J. Gable in the running game developed early, they would have gone to it. But that front four, Tony Chamberlain's D-line, led by John Schick up front, just wouldn't let it happen. So even though the very smaller linebacker could scrape to the football.
Second and 10. It's a catch for Tasker. Dropped it for 3 by Weldon Brown. 88 players on the Ticats this year. 57 starters. Most of it in the first half of the season.
Take a look at a guy like Luke Tasker, a rookie in the Canadian Football League. He'll be around for a long time. Greg Ellingson got off to that great start. C.J. Gable. There's a lot of great talent on this football team.
C.J. Gable is into the end zone for a Ticat touchdown.
Saskatchewan got breaks early, and from then on made their breaks. Just started to dominate the football game. A little pushback from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They got into a two-possession game, but that big run on 2nd and 19 by Corey Sheets really broke their back.
8-play, 64-yard drive for the Ticats. Timbers getting a little short on the field.
John Chick, we talked about Darian Durant, part of that 2019. I mentioned earlier in the show that Durant brings that up without being asked, and it has been so hard to live with. He has been as close to perfect to this playoff run, Chris, as I've seen any player.
He's got a 2 con, so Darian Durant's.
Oh man, he's got to throw that call, man.
His nuts not finished.
The semi-final was 19 of 23 against BC. Rush for 97 yards. The final 24.
Hey. So you already know what it is. This Great Cup stand here in Regina, baby. This is what we do. It's here for a purpose, man. We just say some history and stuff. Just put history, baby. Set history.
From the playoffs in 2013. As close to perfect as you can get.
Corey Chamblin's offense directed by Durant. Scored 40 points in a Grey Cup game. First team to do that since the 40s group for East Saskatchewan in 97. The Roughriders handled the football with 2:54 to take off the clock. And yes, the short hands of and his team in celebration.
I like man.
celebration, symbolic number on his back. He mentioned we talked to him in June, Suits, about this very day.
It's more than a vision, it was a dream. I dreamt it, and you know, I could hear Chris saying, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders are your 2013 Grey Cup champions. And to be here at this moment with the chance to hear that, to see the confetti, it'd be a dream come true.
The vision of the quarterback prior to the first game of the year when we chatted with him.
It was, and he had said it at training camp as well, Chris. And I thought, and I'd asked some of the veterans like G-Roy Simon, I think all athletes and all football players use mental imagery. They see their success before it happens, and that's why they get to the highest level. But to do it with that kind of detail, he said he envisioned even the call.
Puts pressure on. First down, the clock is running. So now Hughes. He's going to save it for the last yard.
That'll be a run he'll never forget.
Hometown boys are going to savor this.
And every single one of them have contributed. They're not on the roster because they're from here. They're on the roster because they're great football players.
Up to 260 rushing yards. And Hughes arrived at that time. Ronnie Lancaster won in 1966. In Austin in 89.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 99. Hampton takes to the goal. First down.
Kerry Joseph in 2007. Number 4 will be number 4 to do it for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at quarterback.
And he told me yesterday, after I asked him about the injuries, and he asked me not to say anything unless they were up and the final seconds were running off, but he's played with bad ribs basically the back half of the season. But he would not be denied.
And they're in victory formation.
yours, Chris. Corey, put put this one into words for me.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous right now. I can't, honestly, I can't. It's unbelievable. It's been a long time for this. The city has been wanting this for a real long time. I'm happy we was able to do it for doubles and for the city. Hey, man, I'm at a loss of words right now.
You said to us before this game that the fans around here were treating your family like rock stars, as if they were the ones scoring touchdowns. You scored 2 touchdowns to set a new Grey Cup record in terms of rushing yards. Did you figure early on, did you know you were going to be such a big part of this game plan?
That's what we do. We run the ball. We changed this game from a passing league to a running game. And we run the ball hard. We run downhill when it gets cold. Nobody wants to stand in front of that old line to tackle me. So we knew coming to this game it was going to be a running game. We got to go ahead and put our nose to them, where to start and get it out.
You've spoken about how much Darian Durant has meant to you in your development. What is it like for you to see him have a game like this and get that Grey Cup win?
I told him before we walked out on the field, I said, Douglas, we're going to get this right for you. I promise you we're going to walk off this field champs just for you, man. And on the sideline, he said, Corey, MVP. I said, man, you my MVP, man. I promise you that. I love that man. He's a great leader. I'll follow him anywhere.
And I know you want to go celebrate. Go enjoy it. Go practice. Guys.
She's told us that Darian Durant would sit beside him in meetings all season long, and she said, wasn't the mission. He said, you know, I just don't have the personality to always be focused in every meeting. But Darian would bump me and say, listen, Corey, you need to see this. You need to be dialed in. Let's hear from Darian. He's standing by the phone.
Darian, you knew this was going to be an emotional moment. Can you describe your emotions right now?
Been through so much. And just to get this at home, man, it means so much. In front of Rider Nation, I just want to say I love you to my family at home. Chubby, I love you. Mom, Dad, I love everybody, man. Everybody that support me back home, all my boys back in the flow, Pee-wee, Avery, everybody, man. Lank, everybody, man, it's for y'all.
You did some good things in the first half of the season, but your playoff performance, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. How are you able to completely zone in when the games mattered most?
This is the time where, you know, you need to step up, man. And, you know, I pride myself in being able to step up when, you know, when it's crunch time. And, you know, I got to give my teammates so much credit. The O-line, Corey Sheets, having him, man, is huge for me and our balance. And it's just amazing.
There was a time when the weight of Rider Nation and being the quarterback in this city was a real difficult thing for you, but it seems there was a point in the last month or two where you really started to embrace it. When and why did it change?
I mean, it was never too much for me. You know, we just had some unfortunate breaks. You know, things started to go our way tonight. You know, I just want to say thank you to the ones that believe in me, and the ones who didn't, they know what they can do, and you know, I'm a champion, and no one can take that away from me.
And you also did it here in front of your fans, and what's going to be the last Grey Cup at Mosaic, and you talked about solidifying your legacy. What will the legacy of Darian Durant be?
It's still yet to be written. You know, I feel like this is just a start. We have a great nucleus. And hopefully we can keep everybody together, or as many of us together as possible, and you know, keep this thing rolling.
All right, thanks for this. Congratulations.
Thank you.
He received text from Damon Allen, praising him, and now he's in that exclusive club. A quarterback who has won a Grey Cup title as a starter. There were times about how different he is now as a player. She's grown since 2009, 2010. How much more he understood the significance of this game and that legacy that I talked about, that it's maybe just the beginning, but he needed this cup. He needed this cup to silence the doubters and the critics. He needed this cup to tell everybody that he could finish. George Cortez has been under the radar here, but an offensive genius who has been here before. And a big part of the offensive success of this explosive Saskatchewan Roughrider team. Come on. And G-Roy Salmon put a script tonight too, didn't he? 2 touchdowns for Superman. Came up big when they needed him most.
Appreciate you teaching me how to be a champion. Good job getting it down, man.
From one leader to another. I think I just heard Darian Durant say to G-Roy Salmon, I appreciate you teaching me how to be a champion. That's why he was to Saskatchewan. So Superman, Cameron Green, and he's with Sarah.
Won Grey Cups before. Put this one into words. Tell me how this one is different.
This is totally different. Leaving the situation that I left in BC to have an opportunity to win. This is the only reason I came here, because I knew that we had an opportunity. It's amazing. It's the best feeling in the world.
And you know, you were brought in here for this moment, this game, and for you to score 2 touchdowns. You've never scored, which was remarkable to think of. You've never scored a touchdown in a Grey Cup before.
You know, I talked to Darren earlier in the week, and I hit it to him. I said, Darren, you know, I never scored a touchdown in the Grey Cup. And he said, don't worry, you're going to. He actually told me early in the week that I was going to be the MVP, but I think either him or Corey deserves that.
What did you say to Darian after the game?
I just told him I love him, man. He's a great player. I've known him for a long time. He's a great player. His team did a great job. You know, he did a great job of leading us. Getting us in situations that we need to be in. You were the guy. You played a great game. You deserve everything.
And you haven't been in this city for long, but explain what this win means to this city.
You know, these fans are amazing. This is. I wanted to play in front of these fans because everywhere you look, you see Riders fans. And I knew that they would welcome me with open arms. It took a while for some of them, but I think we're over that hump now.
I think so. Congratulations. Enjoy this year, right?
Thank you.
Must have been, I was in disbelief too. I think I checked that stat 2 or 3 times before believing he had never scored a touchdown. Well, he took care of that today. Scoring a pair. And if it's up to you, I'll be back for another season. No question. He made that quite clear in his mind. This, regardless of result, was not going to be his last game. The Saskatchewan Roughriders did it like they did it all season long. With balance. Corey Sheets, Darian Durant, Weston Presley. They overpowered teams early, but then the wheels came off a bit. Lost 4 in a row. There were a lot of questions being asked here in Rider Nation, but they ended emphatically. They were pushed by BC, but then a 35-13 win at McMahon. And just as emphatic a win here in the 101st Grey Cup. There's a guy who scored a touchdown, at least one in each of the postseason games.
And all his fan base from Bismarck, North Dakota that come up for games. I see them here during the regular season, frequenting some of the restaurants here in town. There's a whole bunch over there down in North Dakota watching this. Bunch of them have made the trip up for the Grey Cup.
3rd consecutive home team. Sounds like it's a natural, but there was a 17-year gap before this happened. Let's go back to the field in Farhad.
Weston, it was a year in the making, a chance to win the Grey Cup here at Mosaic. Just what's it mean to you to be a part of this?
It's amazing. We're so excited, so happy right now. We put in so much effort, so much work to get to this moment. Now it's just time to enjoy it and soak it all in.
A couple of anxious moments, but then you scored that one touchdown to put it away. Did you know at that moment it was coming home?
Yeah, I mean, really at that point it was pretty much over. But we wanted to finish the game the right way. We wanted to do anything we could out there and win the game. That's all we wanted.
You're part of a group of players that went through some real heartache in 2009 and 2010. Does this make all of that go away?
Man, it feels pretty good right now to be in this moment, so we're enjoying it.
What about how this team was put together, especially with a guy like G-Roy Simon and some of the guys on defense that were really added? Did you really get the sense that this team was built more than any other to win it all?
Definitely. Throughout the entire season, we felt like we had all the pieces. We had everyone that we needed to make a run at it, and we just got high in the playoffs, and we're able to just kind of roll through.
Last thing I'll ask you is Darian Durant. He's taken a lot of criticism over the years. What does this say about him? What does this do for his legacy?
He's a beast. He goes through more criticism and than anyone in this league, really. He takes all the heat off of everyone on our team for us at times, and it doesn't bother him mentally. He just keeps fighting through and makes our team better.
Thanks for this. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Farhad. And now time for the trophy presentation.
Great job. Ladies and gentlemen, football fans of Saskatchewan, Rider Nation, this is your celebration. Before we get to the moment you've been waiting for, we have two very important awards to present. Joining us on stage is Commissioner Mark Cohen.
Avec nous sur la scène, le commissaire Mark Cohen.
The winner of the most outstanding player of the 2013 Grey Cup game, Saskatchewan Roughriders running back, Corey Sheets.
Le gagnant du titre de joueur par excellence de la Coupe Grey 2013, demi-offensif des Roughriders de la Saskatchewan, Corey Sheets.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy's money, when he touches the ball 15 times or more, the Riders this year have gone 13-0. 20 carries for 197 yards, sets a Grey Cup record here tonight for the Rider Nation. Corey Sheets.
Tell everybody how you feeling. It feels amazing right now, but honestly, I couldn't do it with the guys up front, man. Xavier Fulton, LeBat, Dom, Ben Heaton, Chris Best, DT, Devin, Clarky, all them guys up front, man. They did the heavy lifting, and all I do is carry the ball.
He knows where his bread is buttered, folks. He knows where his bread is buttered. This guy stays healthy. No telling how many yards he's going to put up this year. We're already looking forward to next year. Corey, I saw you kiss your mom before the ball game. What do you got to say to her?
I love you, Mom.
It's a Rider Oven, folks. It's a Rider Oven.
I kissed two people.
Are you kidding? Oh, yeah, you did kiss another person. Who was that?
My girlfriend Bree.
And his girlfriend Bree. There it is. I feel like this is a provincial love-in right now. More of a national love-in for the Riders and Rider Nation. And certainly, Corey, you're a big part of their success. Congratulations. Looks good on you. Corey Sheets.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the most outstanding Canadian of the 2013 Grey Cup game, Saskatchewan's own, Chris Getzlaff.
Le gagnant du titre de joueur canadien par excellence de la Coupe Grey 2013 de la Saskatchewan, Chris Getzlaff.
I can't hear you, Rider Nation. It's Chris Getzlaff. Chris, 2 weeks ago, you could barely walk. Then he found a way to will yourself back on the football field and have the team get here. First of all, how did you do that?
Just lots of help from the organization, everyone top to bottom. I mean, Ivan and staff helped me get my body right, and we got back out there and able to help with the team.
Absolutely. And then tonight, big game, 3 for 89. Just, we've seen you put up bigger numbers, but in a game like this, to contribute as you did, is more of the same from Chris Getzlaff. More we've gotten used to watching this guy work his magic down here at the receiving core and an offense that lit it up all season. Congratulations to you. Tell everybody, these are your people. You're from here. Tell everybody how you're feeling right now.
Come feel better. Knew we were going to bring it home in front of the Rider Nation.
Congratulations, Chris Getzlaff, everybody.
And now Saskatchewan, the moment you've been waiting for since 2007. And on home soil, the 101st Grey Cup. Mr. Commissioner, it's your honor.
Are you ready, Rider Nation? Well, let's go. Et me fait plaisir de présenter. It is my pleasure to present the 101st Grey Cup to your hometown, Saskatchewan.
getting her done. I could have done it on a grander stage. What was the turning point in your season when you guys started off 8-1? How did you get it back together?
The biggest turning point for us was at the biggest turning point for us was after the 4-game losing streak when we all came back together and knew that we can go through anything and we can achieve anything if we just believe.
A lesson of perseverance right there. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, your Grey Cup champions 2013.